Good evening, one and all. How is everyone on this beautiful, beautiful Friday evening, or Friday morning, or Friday afternoon, or maybe even Saturday morning, depending on where in the world you might be at this moment? I hope everyone's had a really, really lovely week. Today, we're going to be playing some FM. Shock horror. We've got some AC Milan to kick off. We head straight in to the Club World Cup semi-final against Man City, and we'll see how we get on. Probably then get into a couple of friendly games, and then we'll switch over around 2 hours into the committee to make some big transfer decisions, because we've got a lot of players coming up out of contract, so it should be fun, should be good, should be chaotic. Let's say hello properly to all these beautiful bastards that are in already. We have just a little bit of DM Basis. We have a bit of Crodmo as well. We have Martianator Games in. Welcome in, gents. It is lovely to see you all. We have a bit of Yosh Slack on over on YouTube, as well as Night of Knee. Night of Knee. Why can't I say Night of Knee all of a sudden? That bodes well that I can't even speak in the first few sentences of the day. How are you gents doing? We've got FMGNG in. We've got a little bit of Coritiba as well, who's keeping their eye out for an authentic Rayo Vallecano kit. So if any of you guys happen to stumble across an authentic one with the nice red sash coming across on the diagonal, let them know in Discord.
Somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle.
Oh, welcome in, Necrosis. Thank you very much for the Prime. That's 7 months. 7 months, it's crazy. It is very much appreciated. We also have Kai in as well. We have RJ. Lovely to see you, gents. Wonderful to have you guys in. And we have a Mr. Grizzly P. Welcome in, Grizzly P. How are we doing? The Nick, finally able to catch the stream again. Been busy moving. How has the move gone? It's been it's stressful moving, isn't it? It's bad enough having to pack up, but then having to unpack and having to do everything. Oh my, it is horrendous. So Crodmo asks to do some bingo so you can catch up with the. Well, Crodmo, you have plenty of channel points to redeem some bingo if you want to, right? Wow, it's Future Musterman from the video. It is indeed. I mean, you can tell that Future Musterman had to make a decision this morning about whether he was happy with that section and how it impacted the flow. It is very much Future Musterman. If you guys aren't aware, a new Moneyball clinic was released a little bit earlier, as Hungdamin has mentioned. Welcome in, by the way, Hungdamin. We took over at Familiar Chow, and that's going to be pinned up in your respective chats over on Twitch and YouTube. So if you get bored of listening to me witter on, head on over and listen to me witter on, but slightly more coordinated manner. Am I stumbling because of the lack of shrubberies in my surroundings? Quite possibly. I should put some shrubberies around. I do have a number of fake shrubberies upstairs in the living room to make me feel like I'm sophisticated and whatnot. So Crodmo saw Coritiba's post earlier in the Discord. Is it too cheeky to suggest if you like shirts with a sash, you could just buy a Vasco shirt? Surely you want why get a Vasco shirt when you could get a Rayo Vallecano shirt? For sure. So Crodmo says that if he redeems any points, I'll put on any connect. That's fair enough. That is fair enough. Let's pop on over and oh, sorry, wait a second. Night of Knees, correct me. It's not chow. It's more like cown sound. It's a familiar cown. Thank you very much. I have to confess, I know the pronunciations throughout that video are very badly. So let's pop on over, and I can tell you guys right away that we are going to be playing bingo at every single mini game today, because I'm afraid to say I was up all night editing, got very little sleep, and didn't have a chance to do anything other than bingo. So for those of you that haven't played bingo before, let me explain the rules. There is a link now appearing in your chat, or there should be a link that's appearing in your chats. They are there. Beautiful. If you click on that, you will be entered into a lobby. Once we start, every single player gets a unique bingo card with 16 squares. On those squares, you might have clubs or players or competitions or nationalities. We then all get the same list of 60 players, one after the other. We get 10 seconds to decide whether they match one of the criteria on our bingo card. If they do, click on the square. If they don't, you can let the time run out or you can hit skip. The goal is to try and get 16 correct, but once you click on a square, you can't undo it, and you can't put any future players in that square, so be careful. Now, what I tend to do is I give it a little bit of time for us to join in, so we'll give it about a minute and 45, and then we'll start the game once that's ready. So Cronmo reckons that Vasco are infinitely cooler than Rayo, a bold claim. Marsh enjoyed the Moneyball Clinic. I'm pleased to hear that as well. So yes, as mentioned with Future Musterman, the Director's Cut version, which will be available for YouTube members and Patreon, will be released probably around midday British summertime on Sunday, where we look a little bit more into the data behind projecting Fonseca's ability to fit into the squad, which I thought was really, really interesting, but didn't necessarily move the story forward. So Coritiba has strict rules about Brazilian clubs, either Coritiba or a super niche semi-pro team from a city with 5,000 inhabitants. That's fair. That's fair. That was good. Well, hey, so Famalicão it is. Beautiful. Thankfully, the next regular video is going to be based on that save as well, so I will be able to use that knowledge. Now, Crommo's a fan of that rule. You only have shirts from one English team. You also have a Vasco shirt. You need a Villa shirt, Crommo. Let's be fair. You need a Villa shirt. So can Mr. Grizzly P make it 3 in a row? Not to put any pressure on any of you, but Mr. Grizzly P got bingo on Wednesday. And he got bingo on Monday evening as well in the final one. He is on to get bingo 3 times in a row, which will be an astonishing achievement. DM Basis has a Santos shirt. That's your only Brazilian one. It's a classic, though, for sure. And a special edition Vasco shirt with the map is probably your favourite shirt of all time. Oh, no one needs a Villa shirt, he says. Oof. Oof. What about an Arsenal number 14 Gyökeres shirt? That's something now, isn't it? That'd be something. Right, we're going to move on into the game now. So I'm clicking start to head on over. If you've got this open in another tab, head on over. There's obviously a little bit of a delay between me speaking and it broadcasting, so the countdown will already be underway. The new Roma shirt is impeccable, says Dodgy Rolex. Fair enough. I don't think I was too big of a fan of it personally, but then I'm not really big on shirts on a personal level. As long as they cover my man boobs, that's about all I ask for. It's the important things, right? It's the important bits that matter. Right, so Robin van Persie, obviously quite famously a Bosnian. Possibly played with Fabregas, actually. I missed on that one. We will go with Salgado for Spain. We will go Bakary Sagna for Man City. Oh, Rui Costa. What a player. What a player. But I don't see... Oh, okay. Yeah, oops. Oh, well. Andre Silva. No idea if he matches any of those, so we'll let that one run through as well. A Romelu Lukaku. Now, we'll play him for Inter, I guess. We'll play Tielemans for Aston Villa. It's nice. Let's just keep it sensible and not make any stupid errors. Which means I'm definitely going to make a stupid error with the next thing I pick, for sure. No one needs a Villa fan except that one Villa fan. That's fair. That's fair. Right, Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling might have been there, but I don't feel good about that. Dario Serna. Cracking player. Shakhtar legend. But I'm not feeling particularly confident on that. Born in the 80s, actually. I need to make sure I keep an eye on that. 35 to 45. Don't want to read stuff like that. Oh, that makes me feel old now. Roberto Solano. Everyone's favourite Peruvian, right? Sergio Roberto. Was he there at the same time? He's been around at Barcelona for a very long time. Alex Song definitely would have played with Fabregas, but I've now played that, so that feels a little bit disappointing. Right, Nuno Tavares. We're going with Sporting. I don't think he is, but I'm playing it anyway. Oliver Baumann, I'm going to give a skip. Salvatore Sirigu, also going to skip. Mario Balotelli, why always him? Why always him? Has he ended up out in China at some point? I know he was playing in India at one point, as per the India shirt. Yossi Benayoun, was he at Liverpool during the Benitez era? Yeah, let's go with it. An unnecessary risky play, but we might as well do it anyway. John McGinn, with the skills that he possesses, he's quite clearly Argentinian. Gilberto Silva, and not feeling good on that one either. Sergio Reguilon. Tottenham have just won it. Was he with the squad? Maybe. Dan Burn is another skip there. Daniele De Rossi, I don't think he matches any of those. We can play Riquelme though, that's a nice one to play. Correa, don't feel good on that. Rodrigo Palacio, we're going to skip as well. Ronald de Boer, don't think he matches any of those. Kepa, I don't feel matches any of those either. Neither does Hector Bellerin. Juan Cuadrado for Colombia. That's a nice easy one. John Duran. I almost played Chinese Super League for John Duran. That's surely going to be his next move. Edin Dzeko for Bosnia. There we go. Ajmir Begovic has got to be between that 35 to 45 bracket, right? Well, we've played it now, so no going back. Vladimir Schmicha. Felipe Luis. Aldair. Did Aldair end up in China? I'm going with Aldair in China. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? Romario. Did he ever win the World Cup Golden Boot? I'm risking it. I don't feel good about that one, to be honest. Diego Maradona. One there. And then we're looking for La Liga Golden Boot. So we can skip through these at a reasonable pace. The hope that we find someone like Cristiano Ronaldo. Romario didn't get the World Cup Golden Boot. You made the same mistake. Fair enough. Damn. So Mr. Grizzly P has missed out by one, and that will be why he shouted, no! But still did very, very well. 15 out of 16 is sensational work. That is one more than Char Char and Crudmo. And then we've got GNG in with 13. And we've got a four-way tie for 5th place between Marsh, Coritiba, Yosh and DMB. Fabulous stuff, Coritiba. You did okay indeed. Hungdamin says bingo is impossible. You are so consistent, Hungdamin. It's only one game for you to fall really nicely for you, and you'll be right up there. Your max points will also be kind of 30. It's consistency is worth it. Like RJ as well, 30 as always. The MB is saying shite. I think 12 is still pretty good, my dude. I think 12 is very good. Crummo says fucking terrible. He only got 2 wrong. Nick says that was horrible. So Marsh reckons he had a stinker. I mean, you guys saying you're doing bad, and I've got the same score as you, and I'm like, yeah, I'm happy with that. Coritiba thought Lukaku won the Serie A Golden Boot. That seems like a fair shout. A fair shout indeed. Night of Knee, 14 again. It's consistency, right? Consistency. Quadmo's beginning to hate bingo. I mean, you've picked up 4 points from that, Quadmo. That is closing up that gap just little by little each time. Same place as the new shirt number for Yokoresh. There we go. Can we do an icons one later? Yes. Remind me as we do it. Okay, so those two, as I played Tavares, I said I don't think he's played for Sporting, but I'm going to play it anyway because I'm dumb. Aldair, I mean, yeah, that's no surprise that he didn't play in China. It just feels like a player that might have played in China. That was the basis we were going on. Right, let's head on over to the game. So we are drawn against Man City. Man City beat. So no, let's cover our game first. We reached the semi-finals of the Club World Cup courtesy of a 116th minute winner from our youth graduate Michel Barbieri. Our left-footed right winger comes up big with just 4 minutes remaining before penalties was due, just ghosts in and fires it hard and high past Casiraghi. We have finally got one over against Inter in a big game. Actually, we got one over in the league last season and then collapsed in other games. We will face Man City, who just played Bayern Munich and won 4-3. So look at that. That doesn't look like they deserved it. Erling Haaland is injured. We will have a look. I haven't watched the goals at all myself. Oh, the ball's gone back to being black. Let's get that changed at some point as well. A standard FM goal to open up the scoring. Then it's Tell in space. Interesting defending there, just like running all the way back, keeping Matthias Tell onside. Right, Upamecano out to Tell. He flicks it on. Musiala with a lovely chest down. Beautiful goal. That was the lead for Bayern. 2-1 up. Lasted into the second half. Then it's... No, this is already the second half. There we go. I can't talk. Foden, though, with the equaliser. And we've got Yeremy Pino on the right wing. Cuts it back for Van Dommelen to make it 3-2. In the 75th minute, it's a Kabamba header from a corner. And then in injury time, Karachov to Walters. Here's Gaspieri. Gay, Mark Gay on the turn, on the edge of the area, firing it past the keeper. How long is Haaland out for? I can't see from this screen. Haaland is out for weeks. Fabulous. Okay, we've got a chance. And it's Michele, not Michele. Okay, I'm not Michel. I might still call him Michel. We'll probably change his name at some point anyway, won't we? Because he's a new gen, right? So Tavares was only youth for Sporting. That should count. That should count for sure. Welcome in, by the way, Nameless King. So your scouting in Serbia is often overlooked, but it consistently produces top tier wonders. I find at least 2 every season for around €2 million. Fabulous stuff. Why can Haaland play at centre back? Can he now? I didn't see that. He can indeed. They must have played him at centre back a couple of times. I mean, he is 6'5". I mean, he could have an Emil Heskey, Dion Dublin, Chris Sutton-like trajectory and become a defender in his latter years, maybe. Why not? Right, so let's head straight into the game. Our lineup is pretty set because we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 players that we're unable to register because they've either come in since the competition started, when the transfer window opened in July, or they've returned on loan. So we are a little bit thin on the ground. Skamaka's still a couple of days away from injury, so we won't have him in the lineup. That means Isaac leads the line once again. We're going to keep Barbieri on the bench, but he is an option to come off it, maybe add some late spark. We only have one proper defensive midfielder on the bench, and Rocha isn't really in great condition, but so I imagine he'll only last about 60 minutes, maybe, if we're lucky. So hopefully, we not just can we get the result, but we kind of want to do it within 90 minutes because our squad is a little bit stretched with the not being able to register new players. So we're going with our standard round of have a nice day. I'm actually, wait a second, colour. Let's pop back. We did this before. Let's try, what was it? We put it in as a red colour, didn't we, last time? There we go. Have it on red. Hopefully that will work for us. All right, into the game. Arne Slot's Man City. Interesting. Arne Slot against the white-suited Mika Aratalo. Let's see how we get on. Haaland to host Homes Under the Hammer would be amazing. It could be the next John Charles. Exactly. RJ, all right, we have Raskin. We do indeed. We needed another grizzled veteran in our defence, in our midfield, sorry. and Nicholas Raskin was sitting there available for a free transfer. It had to happen. It had to happen. DM basis, when we're able to register Raskin, it's fucking over for the rest of the league. Isn't it just? Isn't it just? And Marsh suggests that Haaland could end up doing the reverse David James and being subbed on as a goalkeeper when there's another goalkeeper on the bench. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. I mean, the thing is, like, as ridiculous as the David James thing was, he did almost score. It was almost a masterstroke. And I mean, you've kind of technically got to call it, because you can't necessarily judge on the outcome of a missed shot. He brought a player on that he thought would cause chaos at set piece and get a chance to get an equaliser, and it kind of worked, which is madness, absolute madness. Right, Gay into Gvardiol now will play it out wide to Mendes feeds Foden. Now Nuama wins the ball and Emura Hisuki can come away with it on the right. He plays it inside. It's a little bit loose, but Rocha gets there. Isak has fed, and Isak fires over from just inside the box. That was a good chance. Would have liked a player of Isak's quality to get that on target for sure. So the ace, welcome in, by the way. You've just lost the Club World Cup final 3-1 to Real in your Leipzig save. Hopefully it goes better for you. That's rough, but I mean, losing to a team of Real's quality, I mean, there's sometimes you just got to accept it, right? I have a feeling we might be having to accept a bad result here as well. This Man City look to be in decent shape. I mean, it's not been a classic game. We're playing a slightly more defensive setup with our guys in the midfield spots. And we've done a good job of restricting their chances. Very even, 50% each. Not many shots. Kind of happy with that. They seem to have a little bit more presence in our half there. We seem to be getting a lot of the ball in deep areas. So we're struggling to progress the ball. But I don't necessarily mind that because, you know, that means we're still in the game. Now, Gula is playing out of position with this approach. Nuama is a little bit more effective further up, so we'll keep that in mind. We might look to be a bit more expansive in the second half, but actually, it was John Macken on the bench watching James up front. To be fair, I mean, I think even if it wasn't a crazy gambit, I think bringing on David James instead of John Macken is kind of reasonable. Here's Oscar Bob, straight from the kickoff, crosses it, Björn Rod gets there and just hoofs it away. Isak can't hold it up, unfortunately. So this is why Stuart Pearce is no longer a manager. That's also a fair point. Marsh says he's the manager equivalent to Jimmy Traore. Oh, bless him. Bless him. I mean, Stuart Pearce, before Lee Carsley, before Gareth Southgate, Stuart Pearce did a wonderful job with the England under-21s. And there are some managers that I think are more suited to the international game and the differences that brings in terms of what you're able to do in terms of training. And, you know, it's a little bit less tactical, a little bit more motivating, and it seemed to definitely be good for him. Right, let's demand more. We've had a few chances in the start of this half for Man City. That said, we've also had chances, they just aren't highlight worthy. As Blanco fires into the wall, out for a corner. It's going to be Mendes to take. Mendes will send it in. Gay is the target. We get there first. Hasuki gets it clear. Now can Nuama come away with it? Nuama has pace, but he's not going to use it. He's going to hold it up and play it back. And that's the highlight done. Boom. Right, let's go there. We'll go positive, slightly higher. Getting these players into their positions they're most familiar with. Jens Kajuste comes on. We knew that substitution was going to be made at some point. It's looking like we're going to do that. Just the one substitution for the time being. Might be looking to save as many people for the potential extra time. That is, of course, assuming we can get that far. Here's a highlight now. Kaufman into Blanco. Blanco to Berger. Berger to Van Domelen. Bob with a good touch. Finds Blanco now. And Kaufman's in behind. Kaufman from the angle. It's a good block from Monterisi. And then fired into the side netting. I will look up your big well, at the end of the game. That should be good. Do remind me, though. RJ was going to redeem that as well. Interesting. Get wrecked. Something happened with Jonas Herbeck. Has he just been linked with Rangers or something? Right, last 10 minutes says someone needs to leave the field for treatment. It's Nuama, so on comes the hero from the last round. Barbieri is coming on. Carl Palmer is coming on. HJ Bockers is coming on. That's 4 changes. Say no pressure. That worked for Barbieri. Didn't work for Palmer. But here's Benato. Benato, is this going to be a highlight? He takes a shot. It's deflected on the way. It's an easy gather for Guilherme Restes. So we're having a defensive game here. 3 shots on target overall. I mean, that's part of why we started with the more defensive setup. We've had a lot of games against... Well, I mean, there was that game that Inter destroyed us like 6-1, where Liverpool destroyed us 6-0 as well. So a slightly more conservative setup for these big games. There's a good chance there. Push behind for the corner. Kari's going to take that corner. He's going to swing it in towards Cajuste. Can't get there. Palmer picks up the loose ball. Palmer now inside to Monterisi. He finds Cajuste. Look, we've got a man over. Can you get it to Bockus? Not now, I don't think. It's back to Bjorn Rod. He's going to have to go all the way back to Atabolu. Right, Cajuste. Oh, I thought that was going to be... The highlight ends. The highlight ends as it's fed into Isaac. Right, there were 3 minutes remaining. Here's Gasperi. He finds Kaufman. Kaufman feeds it through. Oh no! There's a little bit of a mix-up, but Emuri Hisuke picks it up. Beautiful stuff. Well done, Emuru. Saving the blushes of your players, and we come away with it. Barbieri. Barbieri feeds it inside to Kari. Kari somehow keeps hold of it. Here's Cajuste to Bockers. Bockers from the edge of the area. Restes with a save. Oh, Bockers on his weaker right foot makes Restes have to turn it behind. Arda Güler will take the free kick. Free kick corner. He finds Bockers. Bockers finds Barbieri. Shots blocked. Palmer. Oh, Palmer. Palmer. I thought that was the goal. I thought that was the goal. Oh my. Right. Güler once again with the corner. He's going to send it in. And Monterisi with the header, and Restes just calmly gathers it. Oh, boo, boo, boo. So RJ's going to redeem later to know who we bought. Right, there's the answer. So it's probably your best success story since trying the data-led approach. That's right. Oh, the deflection almost goes in. Off Gabe, but Restes saves. Signed him for AZ from Bayern's reserve team. The scouts thought he'd be rubbish and didn't rate him. He was superb and crucial to our Eredivisie win. And since you've left AZ, he's just signed for Madrid. Sorry, that's a bit... No need to apologise. That is a fabulous story. And his name is You're Big, which is wonderful. Who doesn't love a player called You're Big? We've a lot of low-quality chances, but right towards the end of that game, it felt like we were definitely doing something right and possibly should have stole it at the end there. So we're going to say, just keep on going. Keep on doing that thing. I believe in you guys. Now that's going to be Kari who's coming off because he is absolutely exhausted. So Donna Kebab's going to have to play in midfield. And we do still have one other substitution left, which you would think is going to be for Arda Güler. We will save it for a bit. Let's see what happens in injury time, because both Güler and Isaac are looking very tired. And we've only got one left. Everyone loves a DMB ramble. It's not even that much of a ramble, to be fair. It's what, 4 sentences? Perfectly reasonable. Perfectly reasonable. Right, Isaac out to Barbieri. Barbieri tries to get out of his feet. Can he get the cross in? He can't beat Iredale. Güler was there waiting on the edge of the area, but he needed to get a little bit more weight onto that cross. Let's keep an eye. The momentum stayed with us so far. Arda Güler feeds Palmer. Palmer's in behind. It's blocked. Donna Kebab heads it straight to the goalkeeper with it gaping. The goal was gaping. Oh, Donna Kebab. That's why I will always prefer a humble pizza to a Donna Kebab. We know what's about to happen now. Gvardiol tries to feed it forwards. Emiri Yusuke, he almost got caught on the ball. In fact, we come away with it though. Here's Palmer. Can he find Güler? He can. He feeds Isaac, spreads it out wide to Barbieri. Barbieri loses out to Gvardiol, but gets there, keeps it in. Feeds Donna Kebab. Donna Kebab goes down. Ref, penalty. We keep on playing on, and it's with HJ Bockers. HJ Bockers Feeds it inside to Gula. Gula turns. Cajuste with his left foot outside of the left foot. Or it took a deflection. It curled in towards the goal. Arda Gula will take. He finds Bokkers on the edge of the area. HJ Bokkers, it's just a little too close to Restes, unfortunately. We've got a free kick. Arda Gula fires into the top netting. Into the top netting? Onto the top netting. So DM Basis just wants to know if you're an absolute genius or if he usually ends up all right. I think both things can be true, DM Basis. I mean, identifying a player who ends up all right makes you an absolute genius.
It's not the statistics. It's not the statistics. You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Oh, Soul Wanderer, with your prime as well. Thank you very much, dude. It is very much appreciated. How are we not winning this game? It is half-time in injury time. That's 1.3 XG in that first half of extra time. I'm scared to bring off a player, but Gula is just dead. He needs to come off, and so we're going to bring on Sinato. That means he's going to play as the false nine. Carl Palmer a little bit deeper. And then we will demand more. 15 minutes between a potential, well, I mean, penalty shootout there, but it could be heartbreak. It could be elation right at the end here. Let's see what happens. Bjorn Rod just hoofs it forwards. Gasperi tries to get it out to touch, but Bokkers intercepts. Bokkers now creates some space, sends the cross in. Barbieri can't get there. Gvardiol, good header away, but we still keep the pressure on. And here's Palmer. Palmer! Oh, Guillermo Restes, you bastard. This squad is clearly lacking a bit of pineapple pizza goodness. It clearly is. But I have some news for you on that. I have some news on that. It's the bar. It's the bar. Are we going to be able to find something right in the last few moments? There are 2 minutes remaining. Not even that. Penalties. Oh, penalties. Oh, boy. Soul Wanderer, you're welcome. You left YouTube. You'll be less sinister. But be as sinister as you like. We welcome the sinister here. Also, a great shout. The baseline to ramble on is absolutely incredible. Gotta love it. Right, so we are going with Carl Palmer in the 5th spot, and then it will be a free-for-all. We have not had a good record with penalties. A pineapple pizza is a crime against all things in creation. Oh, Soul Wanderer, you are not going to find many people who agree with you here. Pineapple is wonderful. Carl Palmer is nervous. Can you be nervous with no brain cell? It's a fair question. A very, very fair question. Stay calm. Can I do that? I like the hands on hips. Stay calm. Let's see if we can speak to these guys individually who are nervous. Alexander Isak. Carl Palmer. Francisco Sinato. Relax. Sinato's cool with that. Isak and Palmer showing their mature selves are absolute nervous wrecks. I don't feel good. I don't feel good. Andreas Isak. Alexander Isak just passes it to Restes. Oh, this is bad. A pineapple on pizza should be punished with capital punishment. I definitely can't agree with that. As Sheldon fires it beautifully into the top corner. A sensational penalty there. A nameless king has spent over 5,000 hours on FM and still have no clue how to plan training properly. I mean, just enjoy it. Who cares about min-maxing? As Donna Kebab misses our second penalty. Van Domelen steps up, sends Atabolo the wrong way. Oh, this is tough to take. This is tough to take. Bjorn Rod, can he make it 3 misses from 3? He doesn't. He drills it low. Restes went the right way but didn't stretch out. 2-1. We need some magic from Atabolo here. Can he stop Gasperi with his short one-up? No, he powers it into that top right-hand corner. Another cracking penalty from Man City there. Oh, that might be the worst penalty. It was shocking, wasn't it? Just like passed it to the keeper. There are 2 types of people in the world. People who like pineapple on pizza and people you can't really trust. Exactly. Francesco Donato sends Restes the wrong way. We are still alive, but we need Man City to miss both their remaining penalties. They are perfect so far. And the long walk-up is happening. The game knows there is tension. There isn't much. They've got 2 opportunities, and it's going to be Mark Gay. Mark Gay doesn't even wait. He just powers it down the middle, and Man City are through to the Club World Cup final 4-2 on penalties. Bullshit. FM is awful for screwing you over on penalties. We are very, very bad at penalties. Doesn't seem to matter whether we have players with good penalty taking, finishing, composure, decisions. We just seem to, I feel like we're probably around 60%. But there we go. There we go. My sympathies to the guys. That's what happens if you don't finish your... We had plenty of opportunities during the game to put it to bed, and we didn't. So, you know, that ultimately falls on us for failing to do our part of the bargain. Right, Nuama's out for a week. That's not too bad. Get these guys rested up. Let's clear everything out. So, I said there's a little bit of an update that I need to give you, DM Bassist. I've got to give you a little bit of an update, and then we will do our lookups for Jubik and Lansana. I've accepted a loan offer for Pineapple Pizza. Pineapple Pizza is probably still a little bit down at the pecking order in terms of with our new arrivals. We've got our new poacher. We've got a new right winger as well. And then Newcastle came in with an offer of 130 covering his wages, 135,000 a month if he plays, 275,000 a month if he doesn't play. So that means they'll be paying us anywhere between 5 and 7 million euros over the course of the year. They will also give us €1 million if they win the FA Cup. There's no fee agreed, so he's not going to be leaving us because like he's crazy valuable. But at 21 years old, I would prefer him playing regular football. They've said he'll be an important player at Newcastle. So if he can get some regular football under his belt rather than be in a rotation, and then hopefully back with us for next season. So let's have a look at let's do the lookups. And let's have a look and see how Jonas Big is doing. He's at Union Berlin. Look at him there. A very, very young looking 29-year-old. Now, obviously, it's the beginning before the season starts, so we don't have any stats from last season, unfortunately. And he's not, he might be a bit scouted. He is scouted, extensive knowledge. So he is a player who's excellent at one-on-ones, excellent at rushing out, decent agility, great at aerial reach and jumping, just solid all round. There's no real weakness there. And his career, however, hasn't really taken off. So we have a spell down the Zweite Bundesliga with Greuther Fürth, where he conceded 34 goals in 33 games. That's pretty good going. Then when he moved to Union Berlin, he's finally started to get some starts. So he's only been starting the last 3 years. A great first season. 14 goals conceded in 26 games. Season after, 45 and 31's okay. And 38 and 30's not too bad either. There seems to be a solid goalkeeper who probably should be playing at a higher level than the Zweite Bundesliga. So there we go. Right, Carl Palmer missed a 1v1 against the City keeper. We so awful. Lasagna Gate and Pineapple Pizza Gate. Great, beautiful stuff, isn't it? So Marsh, why is he called Pineapple Pizza? So there's a redeem over on Twitch where you can rename regions, and DM Bassist renamed him Pineapple Pizza because we're in Italy, and he thought that would be offensive to the Italians. We also have a pizza pasta down here as well. So pizza pastas are renamed, as is Björn Rod, Emiru Hisuki, which is the Japanese translation of Emil Heskey. Hale End, we've got a goalkeeper named after Arsenal's training ground. There are some very, very interesting and peculiar names out there. All right, let's look up now Lansana. So Eric Lansana is Enric Lansana. I do apologise. Now 32 years old. He is about to join Cups. He's making his way to Finland after a season with FC Eindhoven in the Keukenkampioen division, where he only made 4 starts, 14 appearances overall. Let's have a look at his career to date. So he had moved to Go Ahead Eagles before the game started. Got a reasonable amount of game time in that first season, the Eredivisie. Dropped off the next couple of seasons, which led to him moving over to Groningen in the Keukenkampioen division. Again, he struggled to get first team place. So he went to Eindhoven. First season, a bit part player, and then it seemed to improve. 27 games, 32 games the season thereafter, 1 goal, 4 assists, 1 player of the match award. And the last couple of years seems to maybe be on the decline a little there, unfortunately. So yeah, that's Eric Lansana. Right, do we want to squeeze in a friendly then? 1, 2, 3. Well, add in another friendly there. I will obviously kept that free for potential Club World Cup final. There are no nearby teams available at that point. Oh, we've got to play Campionese. No, we don't. They're far too easy. Südtirol in Serie B still? No, they're down in Serie C. So let's play a game against Südtirol. And that'll be another one there. And let's see if we can get anyone. We've got a €3 million bid coming in from Mattia Zanotti. I want to see if we can get a bid now for Anita Hammer. So Fiorentina lack the funds currently. So let's see if we can get them to. They're interested, that means. So let's see if we can get them to bite by saying, hey, you don't have to pay any of it up front. We've got enough money for the way that we approach transfers that we don't need the money up front, so that's absolutely fine. And then the other transfer I want to look at is Alexander Isak. Nobody is interested in Isak. So let's set a value down at, say, so if we values him at 16.5, let's put him down at 10. See if making it kind of public that he's available on the relatively lower fee than they might expect might lead to some interest coming in, potentially. Who knows? Oh god, Pineapple Pizza in Newcastle. That's not going to go down well with the Geordies. Can we rename him Greg Steakbake? I mean, you can for sure. Right, Südtirol have accepted the friendly. Oh, it hurts, man, it hurts. So yes, he starts at Colne on this save. RJ hopes he's better than that in real life because you just signed him. I mean, hopefully he is. Hopefully, right? He was great at Go Ahead Eagles. There we go, MTG. So Nick lives almost next door to the Go Ahead Eagles stadium. Nothing spectacular, but very dependable. Surely that's what you want from a defensive midfielder, right? Well, you either want Andrea Pirlo, and if you can't get Andrea Pirlo, you just want someone that you kind of don't notice. Because if you don't notice, they're not doing anything wrong. Grizzly P says internal friendlies are the best for player development. There we go. That's interesting news. I mean, do you just do them between your youth squads, or do you manage your own friendlies against your own teams, or are you just instant resulting through them? Right, Skamaka has returned in time for friendlies. Bless him. Yeah, RJ says don't need a spectacular DM as long as he does the job. Exactly. Welcome in, Guja. How are you doing, sir? Lovely to see you, my man. How are you? Cramo, do you mind giving Dave a shout out? How is everything going with Corn? And welcome in, John, sir. Lovely to see you. Just dropping in quickly before the World Match Play starts. Fair enough. When does is that like in 15 minutes then? I'm guessing that's to be about 9 p.m. Right, Daniele Busa is down in the under 23s, which seems a little ridiculous. Let's add him to development list so they don't reject those. Right, no offers, but we do now apparently have Stuttgart, Nice, Sassuolo, Juventus, Lazio, and Ajax interested. So wage demands seem to be the biggest issue for those guys. So let's see. That Anita Hammer is offended that we've said so. Let's try and piss him off a little bit more and move him to surplus to requirements now. Right, Sinato moves to Salernitana. Pop him down. That's fine. Yeah, we should have this squad kind of. loans, these guys.
Statistics. It's not the statistics. You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
On a needle. Oh, GNG, you absolute gentleman. That's a gifted subscription to the Good Joe. What a gentleman you are. What a gentleman you are. So Mr. Grizzly P says your logic is just more playing time for everyone. Fair enough. I think it's supposed to start 15 past, but you never really know with the PDC. They love drugging out the coverage before in between matches. This seems to be a thing that's infecting all of sport, where an event will start at 8 o'clock or whatever, and the actual event doesn't start for like another 15 minutes. As someone that is very, very set in being on time, it does upset me a little. Let's make sure DeFeo is also added to development list there as well. So those other teams that said they're not so keen because of wages, because wages aren't that high, are they? 60,000 euros. We might offer out, like if we offer to pay 30,000 for 3 years that I think is remaining in his contract, that's 4.5 million euros. So maybe if we can get 50 million as a transfer fee and offer him out covering some of his wages, might be something that could work in our favour potentially. So Goodger, you're fantastic with corn. Smash season 2 in the Premier League, safe from relegation with 9 games to go. Fantastic. Hoping to push on and challenge for Europe next season now. Marvellous stuff. Coritiba just read some great news. A 39-year-old Leo Gamalio is available on a free. He's just 6 goals away from becoming the all-time goal scorer in the Serie B. You'd love to have him back. Okay, now Coritiba, I love and appreciate you, but I'm going to have to call you out on that, because it's only like 4 or 5 months ago you were complaining about Coritiba signing all these old players. He's 39 years old. Yeah, no, that would be a cool story. I'm just winding you up. That would definitely be a cool story. Do you think that he's still good enough to score 6 goals before the end of the season? He's different though. I appreciate that the connection and stuff, absolutely. So Rod's out for a few days. That's nothing particularly major there. Welcome in. It was Yasmin. Lovely to see you. So how many leagues do you have loaded right now? You're in 2027 with Roma and it's so slow. You're thinking about removing some leagues. Cool. So let me pop here. We have the following leagues loaded. We've got top 2 in Austria, top 2 in Czechia. We've got the top 4 in Denmark, top 4 in England, top 4 in Finland, top 3 in France, top 3 in Germany, top 2 in Italy, top 2 in Netherlands, top 2 in Norway, top 2 in Poland, Portugal, Spain, Sweden, and Switzerland. So about 111,000 in, down to 1-star speed. I do have to turn off, or I do remove access to half the cores of my CPU while streaming, so that resource can be dedicated to all the other stuff that I've got open as well. So that does run a little bit slower when I stream than it does if I was to play off stream. And it's not the most impressive computer by any stretch of the imagination. Cool, let's keep going. I think we're pretty much set in terms of our players for this season. The one position I was kind of interested in was a defensive-minded right back. We do have some, so that's not necessarily a major issue, and we probably won't move them on unless we get Anita Hammer out the door. Right, bids coming in for Booser, that's good. Bids coming in for Haaland. I'm going to eject the one that says backup. So I prefer him down in Serie B. Gauta Hellstrup is now the Palermo manager. Pineapple Pizza has agreed his deal to go to Newcastle. Marvellous stuff. Sokoa Teep says he's got no pace, but Omar can score a header from a well-delivered set piece. All you need. On that basis, probably a good chance of breaking the record then. Surely. It was Yasmin. No worries at all. No worries whatsoever. It's Man City against Arsenal in the 2033 FIFA Club World Cup. And the winner is Arsenal. Arsenal beat us in extra time when we played them in the Champions League. So if we beat Man City, we would have probably still faced the same fate, to be honest. Let's be fair. John Duran is a Man City player. He's just scored. He's been a bit part player since moving from Leeds. Good old John Duran. I'd welcome him back at Villa. I loved the chaos that he brought. Our biggest underachievers were Real Madrid. It's the Club World Cup. It is. Can you underachieve? You can certainly fight for it and you might want to do well. But at the end of the day, if you get knocked out, you just get a longer preseason, and that's great. Right, so we're looking for Svetkovic now. Kvetkovic, are we looking for Mihailo? Have I spelt it right? Kvetkovic? That's not... I know that the game doesn't handle certain characters particularly well, so this could be a little bit tricky to look up. I don't know if he's there. Sadly it doesn't look. So if there's someone else you want to look up, let me know, my dude. Let me know. Arsenal's the world champions. Hung Min is happy. He's a wild boy, John Duran, isn't he just? Isn't he just? And it's so fun as a result. Right, Pineapple Pizza out on loan. That's 5 to 11 million for us. We're not going to make any false promises to him about targets and stuff. So that's more players that we can... Oh no, they haven't gone through, so we're waiting for Fusari and Pizza, and we can move them over into the under-20 squad as well. Oh, I forgot. So I only moved off stream. I only moved forwards like 4 days to get to the game. Nothing else nothing happened, and lots of things happened. One of the things that happened was Al Ahly made a bid for Carl Palmer. We rejected it, and Carl Palmer got unhappy. So we've now promised to sell Carl Palmer for 42.5 million euros. And I don't mind that, because we've got Arda Güler there, who was really, really good when he came in for the second half of the season. And it means that it kind of opens up space for Gianni Ricci to be the backup. And he's a homegrown player. So I'm quite happy with that. So let's see if we can get him moved on. And we've let a bit of time run since we last offered a need to hammer out. So let's say we're willing to pay 30k. And we'll keep it at 45, because that basically just makes it a 40 million euro fee, and we bought him for 11 million, so that isn't too bad from like a profit perspective, right? For Real Madrid, underachieving is just not winning the entire thing. But yeah, what I mean though, MTG, is it's a win-win situation if you get knocked out early, right? Because it's something that eats into your pre-season, and players will be tired for the upcoming season and so forth. Right, make sure you're on the development list. He's been bid for. Bids come in there. Loan offer there. Backup, so I say no. Let's pop to the development list. Hairland, agreed playing time, needs to at least be first choice goalkeeper. A Torino in offer for one of our young lads, Francesco Lembo. They think is potential to be Serie A quality. Out of season, so that's not going to be very useful anyway. He looks like he might be able to develop. He's only 19 years old. He's got 1 year left on his contract, though. They are offering a decent amount. Let's say basically give us what he's worth, and everything in terms of profit. And they say no, so you're out. We will accept the offer for Carl Palmer. It's only a 4 million euro profit on him, but we did end up spending big on Arda Güler. We've got the opportunity, the player to follow him there. So You suspect Joanne is just looking for an ordinary world. I see what we got there. See what you did there. And he'll then survive. If he keeps making moves really quickly, he'll become notorious. He scores from his hunger. He's hungry like the wolf. Girls on film, exactly. Where's John Joanne off to next? Rio. He's off to Rio, where he dances on the sand. Going to play beach soccer. Let's have a look up for Nathan Dylan Saliba. There we go. The Toronto FC defensive midfielder. 3 caps for Canada. Now, the Toronto season is halfway through right now, so that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. He's not starting for Toronto FC, really. We don't really know anything about his attributes. His career history has been... So he's essentially moved on from Canada, spent a good amount of time coming on as a substitute in that first year. Again, wasn't really starting for Montreal all 3 seasons. Most of his appearances came off the bench. He moved to York United, where he got 23 starts in his first year, 13 in his second, 27, and that got him. So that last season with 4 assists, 7.51 rating, 27 starts, 1 substitute appearance in the league, earned him a big move, 575k, to Toronto FC, where he's barely played at all. Ah, such is the story of FM, eh? Such is the story of FM. I wonder if Ladislav Almasi would accept playing for Coritiba. I mean, that would be an interesting move. That would definitely be an interesting move. So John, so at the game today, the referee stopped midway in the second half because he needed a shit. I think I've seen it all now. Wow. Wow. I mean, that is undeniable, right? If you need a shit, you need a shit. So you got to go. So we've got one more look up as well for the goal-scoring goalkeeper, Federico Gomez-Guerth. Let's see if he's still around. He is currently in Portugal. He's only 29. I thought he started the game a little bit older than that. So currently at Academico, 29-year-old. He has been there from the start. Look at that. So he's moved from Tigre to Academico. It took him 4 seasons to become the starter. And he's been doing really, really well. 30 goals in 33, 34 in 33, 32 in 32, 16 in 25, 34 in 31, 30 in 32, 34 in 32. To concede only around 1 goal a game over the course of a whole career in FM is pretty damn good going. Very, very encouraging signs. We don't have any scouting on him, as we can see, so this won't be very useful. But yeah, he seems to have had a pretty decent little career there. So RJ wants to know if any Canadian know him. Another signing for us. You're sounding a lot of players. Ethan asks, what is it that every tactic I make is terrible? I'm sick of it, and it makes you hate FM. That's very frustrating. Now, Ethan, what I recommend is pop on over to someone like RDF Tactics. He does a really, really good job of explaining not just the tactics, how a tactic can work in FM, but also the theory behind it, and about taking an approach that thinks about being balanced and making use of proper like football theory as a guideline to start with. I mean, and as Dean Bass said, FM is a harsh mystery. Night of Knees a fan of the puns on Duran. It's beautiful, isn't it? So Kai says that is very human. It is. Why don't you look at other people's tactics and use ideas from those, or just download and use a tactic? Exactly. So downloading and using tactic defeats the purpose, and I want to learn, but what do? It sucks. Well, as I said, yeah, you've got my recommendation. That's what I would suggest doing. Watch his videos, listen and learn. So he has the girth. Does he have the length too? Federico Gomez Chode is a different name, that's for sure. That is definitely different. He can score penalties. He is indeed. If you've seen Lama's video, he did a whole little mini movie on Federico Gomez Guerth, the goal scoring goalkeeper. So guess so being 6'4", so he's got length. He isn't a chode. Disappointing. Deep Line Playmaker makes good tutorials as well. Absolutely wonderful. Right, let's pop on in. So our games we will just do the standard change players at half-time thing. So Pizza Pasta I expect to be our starting right back this season. It would be the centre-back pairing that we saw earlier. and that left back. Our midfield, the plan is that it's likely to be Rocha and Raskin. Let's pop to the more attacking version. Nuama's still out, so that'll be Lucas Romanin. It would be Arda Güler behind. It would be Paolo Benato, and Sydney Osazuwa would be our what I imagine our starting lineup is going to be. Then our backups would be Kebab Hasuki, Mr. Duckle, Bokkers, Ars, Kari. I mean, it would be Nuama. Nuama would be the starter here, so that would be Barbieri as the other option. Then Gianni Ricci behind the striker. We'd be looking at Rafalskis and Skamaka, and that would be our rotation. Then we'd have Kajuste and Perilli as just kind of our spare options there. Let's move Pineapple Pizza in. It does say he can play, but he's still on a yellow heart, so we'll pop in with that. Bjorn Rod is still out as well, so we're going to bring in Mr. Duckle, and we can have DeFeo on the bench for this game. Let's just come in with a couple of other players that we... Just a little bit of rotation there. And we will do what we've done in previous seasons, which is we will play the first half, sub everyone off, instant result second half, so that every player that I want to get game time gets 45 minutes each. Results really don't matter, although given that we've only had like a week and a half off, we should be in a reasonable position from a fitness perspective already at the moment. So Mr. Grizzly says, put good players in roles that work well together. Minimum instructions, see what happens and adjust on the fly. Paying attention is the thing that that really does help. You know, take your time, watch the games, see what's there. Yeah, players do matter much more than tactics. Absolutely agree with that. So proof that FM is realistic that Schalke can't make it. Yeah, I mean it's so weird. That was quite a nice strike. Sorry, let's pop that back onto TV. We'll see it with vertical scrolling anyway for the replay. Like FM has rated Schalke and Hertha Berlin so good for like the last decade that it does seem quite jarring when you see them struggle to get themselves promoted in recent years. So Johnson suggests identifying 2 to 4 star players and put them in their preferred roles and build the rest of the tactic around those roles. I'd certainly agree with that. Certainly what I would suggest is keeping it on the lower side. So around two players to build around generally is I would do that rather than 4, because once you start to try and build around too many players, it becomes a lot harder to find something cohesive. So start building around 1 or 2 and then expand as you kind of get a grip to it. Right, Rafalskis does well to set up Arda Güler. Now Citarello are Serie C, but they start the game in Serie B, I think. They are Serie B at the start of the game, aren't they? Or at the start of the game. They were for the 23-24 season. It's not necessarily a bad team, but not necessarily a good team. It should be a game that we win pretty comfortably. It was Jasmine asked, what's the difference between playing one lineup for 90 minutes versus 2 lineups for 45 minutes? So in pre-season, I want to make sure that everyone is kind of getting a little bit of fitness in these first few games. So I want everyone involved a little bit, because the way that training works, if someone doesn't play in the game, they still don't have any training that day, right? So we kind of want everyone involved. It helps them a little bit with their development. It helps them with their match sharpness, and it's just nice and even. If you use an instant result when you've started a game, the AI won't make any changes. So we can't like set it up so that they make substitutions after 45 minutes, or that they get the fitness management in the way that I like. So that's why I do it this approach. So Schalke indeed. You're in Bundesliga 1-1 game in R17. You're also, like, with Schalke, you are going to find those seasons are going to be a bit of a struggle. There are some exceptionally good teams in the Bundesliga. So, Marsh, you like the camera angle you're playing on? Which one? It's just so we'll get into the second half. Before I do the bit, I can show you. It's just TV, maximum zoom, lowest height, and the replays are vertical scrolling, maximum zoom, minimum height. Feo, Navarro, Rocha, Kari, Barbieri, Ricci, Bonato, and Scamacca. So, as you can see here, height all the way down, zoom there. I like reversed because it puts the camera on the side where the manager is, so I'm not looking at myself. But yeah, and it's the same settings for vertical scrolling as well. Lowest height, maximum zoom. So we can now do the bit there. Hopefully we get a couple more goals whilst we don't watch it. We did get a few more goals. We also conceded a couple. We conceded from our only shots on target from the opposition, but then their goalkeeper only made one save as well, so can't moan too much. Goals for Ricci, Scamacca, Barbieri. They did pull it back to 3-2. Oh, that's not so good. That's not so good. Right, and there was a mystery mini game redeemed, so let's head on over and play another round of bingo. Let me back out there. Let me get this information. So, appearing in your chat, guys, right about now, you should have a little link to the next round, and we are indeed playing icons. And because uBlock Origin doesn't work, and I haven't changed over ad blocks, we get loads and loads of ads appearing on screen. Right, if you guys haven't played bingo before, let me explain the rules. Head on over to that lovely little link. It will add you into a lobby. Once the game starts, you get a unique bingo card. Every single player gets a unique bingo card with 16 squares. On those squares, you'll see players, nationalities, clubs, awards, competitions. We then all receive the same list of 60 players, one after the other. We get 10 seconds to decide whether they match one of the squares on the screen. If they do, you click on it. If they don't, you let the time run out, you click skip. The goal is to get all 16 correct. And Mr. Grizzly P has managed to get bingo 2 out of the last 3 times as well. Yeah, that's it. That's the horse. Oh yes, if you click on a square, you lock it in. You can't undo it. You can't put another player in that square. So be careful when you're making those decisions. I say that, and then I'll be cavalier myself. I'm going to give it just under 2 minutes for people to get themselves joined in the room, and then we will start the game. So Johnson's going to stick around for the bingo. Might be back between games and in breaks. Marvellous stuff. Marvellous stuff. Akoatiba's too young for Icons bingo. I mean, I'm about the right age for Icons bingo, and I still suck. I shuck. So, Hungdamin, retired legends. Ah, fuck. I'm bad at modern players already. Hungdamin, I'm bad at both, if it's any consolation. So, well, 20 minutes in the first match of the season. Already a missed penalty for Union. That's not a good way to start their title defence, is it? That is not a good way to start their title defence, bless them. The season after promotion is always going to be very, very difficult in almost all cases. It really is. It really is. Johnson says it's perfect timing for you and the start of Hanover's season. You turn 18 on the day it starts. Oh, I hope you are going then, Johnson. That's going to be one hell of a birthday celebration, right? So you're in a much harder league. Indeed you are. Well, once you move up to the Bundesliga, very, very tough. Like Ethan, how many... We've just seen it with the Premier League this season. Promoted teams get relegated again. It's a thing that happens. It's going to be difficult because the jumping quality is massive. Massive. Exactly, as Mr. Grizzly P says. Right, so I'll give it a few more seconds and I'm about to hit the start button. So if you've got this open up in another tab, head on over there, and by the time I've said this and it's broadcast through to you, it's probably already starting. So I've clicked start now. We have a lovely little countdown and then we'll head in, and then we'll sit back and watch as Crudmo or Char or Mr. Grizzly P get bingo once again, and the rest of us all linger around the 30s. We start off though with a little bit of Ryan Giggs. And he's obviously won 3 Serie A titles, as we famously know. David Villa, quite famously won the Premier League Golden Boot and the Copa America. Abu Dhabi is one we can play. That's right, Paulo Ferreira. Why don't I have Champions League winner now? That would be useful time to have Champions League winner. Why is it always the ones that I want to come up when I don't have the options on the board? Stoichkov is a quality player, but we're going to let that one go. Chris, is that the centre-back that played for Lyon? None of these teams are Lyon, so we're going to let that one run through. We've got Ashley Cole come up now, though, so we can play him for Chelsea. We've got Paoletta. Paoletta, do I know enough about his career? I don't think he matches any of those. I'm not convinced there. So we've got Nacho Monreal. Again, nothing stands out for me there. Adida. Will he have won 3+ Serie A titles? Maybe. I'm not feeling it though. David Trezeguet. He's got to have won the Golden Boot, right? Surely. Surely he won the Golden Boot at some point during his time there. Did Julio Cruz play for it? Is that the right one? I'm worried that I'm getting confused between my Inter strikers. Right, Loic Remy, we're letting that one run through as well. Michael Owen for the Premier League Golden Boot. We've got Ivan de la Peña. Ivan de la Peña was a cracking player in Champs 0304. Ricardo, the goalkeeper. He could have possibly ended up out in Turkey at some point. Marcelo Salas. Alexander Hleb. Hleb, such a satisfying name to say. Adrian Mutu. Going a lot of Chelsea players, a lot of Portuguese players so far. Danny Rose. Was Danny Rose still at Tottenham when Pochettino was there? And has anyone ever considered Danny Rose to be an icon? Ever? Mustafa Hadji. Paul Scholes. Dunga. Gonna keep on going through these. Michael Essien. Played with Lukaku? I don't think so, but I've played it now, so there we go. Maniche is the kind of player who'd have ended up at Turkey at some point, right? Yeah, we're playing it. Who cares? Mark Hughes, we're going to give that one a skip. Daniele De Rossi, we can play for Italy. Diego Milito, what a player. I'm not sure. I just don't know who's won the Copa America. It keeps on coming up. I should probably go and do my research at some point. I know that Brazil and Argentina haven't won it that often, which means that Colombia could have done. So let's give that to even Cordoba. Mamadou Diarra, we're going to give that one a skip. Nwankwo Kanu, we're going to give that one a skip. As Hugo Almeida. Rui Costa to win 3 Serie A titles. Clicked it now. Fernando Redondo, what a player. Ujfalusi went to West Ham, didn't he? Ujfalusi, I've said it now, so we'll live with it. Carlo Cudicini. Alex Song, no. Eric Abadal at Newcastle would have been interesting. Nicholas Berdiso. Oh, Pochettino. No, I'm not sure about that one. Olivier Dacour, Leeds United legend. We're going to skip on that one. Another Leeds United legend, and Mark Viduka. Did Viduka go to Newcastle at some point? I think I'm hallucinating things now. So we've played it. So Jan Matt, we're looking for Pochettino and Galatasaray. Not together. That might be impossible. Cannavaro. Nicholas Anelka has played for every team that's ever played football, so he's definitely played for Galatasaray. And Makoto Hasabi, Diego Fuser, Marco van Basten, Antonio Di Natale, Ruud van Nistelrooy. We've got 2 remaining. I don't feel these ones. So, are we saying that Winston Bogarde play for Galatasaray or for Pochettino? We're sending Winston Bogarde to Turkey. We're giving Del Vecchio guidance from Pochettino. I have a feeling we might be in the 20s for this one. We got 5 wrong. 5 wrong. We are outside of the top 10, but draw is an absolute legend. That is bingo for draw. Sensational work, sir. Absolutely sensational work. Followed by Mr. Grizzly P with a very, very respectable 14. In joint third, we have Johnson, we have Crodmo. Then we've got 3 tied for 5th. We've got Zhu, FMGNG, and Xenon. Do I want to see how far down we are? There we are. Okay, we're joint 8th. We're joint 8th. That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. Lovely, lovely stuff there. Right, so I will pop on back over and see if I can catch up on chat. So I do apologize if you were chatting whilst we were playing the game. Obviously, we were playing the game, so it can't really keep up on with chat during that moment as it's timed. So welcome in, Vadim. Big fan of your videos. Have you read the book X Genius by James Tippett? I haven't, but it is something that I do plan to read at some point. Ethan, why we're basing my progress on FM YouTubers not make me have fun. I want to get taxes right, but nothing works. So one, comparison is a thief of joy. Don't compare yourself to others, but watch and learn. Like as I said, there have been great recommendations, RDF, Deep Line Playmaker, that really explain what to look at in terms of your players and then your tactical approach and things that work. So those can be very useful. But if you compare yourself to the successes of people that have played the game for 30 years and will provide an edited view of the game, because playing through the game for 8 hours and having that unedited doesn't make for a very interesting video, then you're always going to get frustrated. You play for yourself, or you should, hopefully you'll be able to play for yourself. Can we find another Portuguese team to fit in that gap now that that game's been cancelled? So let's see, Portugal. Oh, wait a second, what date was I looking at? 16th of July. Let's see. Anyone got availability on the 16th? None of them will, because it's the Allianz Cup. Marvellous stuff. So let's just chuck in any old game in that gap. We can play... No, we're not going to play Inter. Cesena, ON Syria B. Let's do that then. Beautiful. That will do nicely. Fill that gap. Make sure that we keep our players fit throughout the off-season. Right, I can see. Welcome in, Blue Lions. How are you doing, sir? How are you doing? Lovely to see you. We've also got Welsh Smithy just suggesting just go 4-2-3-1 Gegenpress. I mean, it's a tried and proven method, isn't it? You can't go wrong with that. Sergio Papa has a great name. That's not a player that we've renamed. Slow determination. They think he could be Serie A quality in the future. I'm not sure I necessarily see it. So if we say, yes, you can have him, but you've got to give us 2.5 mil, will Roma bite? They will come back and say no, basically. 1.25 plus another 550 after actually making senior appearances. That's a no. Those bids are coming in. That's all good. We can work with that. So, like Ethan, there was some absolutely fabulous advice coming in from the chat here. I do strongly recommend listening and taking it on board if you can. Welcome in, by the way, Orumka. Thank you very much for the follow as well. So sorry for the double message. Just finished reading it and it's amazing. Notably explains how XGO performance is not that interesting of a metric. I'm looking forward to your opinion on that. So XG over performance, I wouldn't say that it's not an interesting metric. I think it's a very, very interesting one. I think it shows some of the shortfalls with the size of data that it's based on, because it's still a metric that is very much in its infancy. There is a lot of talk about it undulating it, and players can underperform one season, overperform another, and so forth. But you will also see that if you start looking down at much lower levels, you see a lot more consistent underperformance, and that means that there is some sort of correlation between XG and quality of player. So I think that there is quite a little bit more to it than just being an over. It might be an overexposed metric, or an often misunderstood one, I think might be the best way of putting it. So Marsh, who won the bingo? Your Wi-Fi went down. Oh, what awful timing. It was Draw. Draw got a sensational bingo. 48, 16 out of 16. Like the star that he is. So let's see. There we go. Again, could not recommend DLP the channel enough. Exactly. There was so much great information. The chat here are giving you some absolutely fantastic suggestions. So you know, I strongly recommend, if you want to improve, make use of the advice that's being given. It's absolutely fantastic. They're talking about, you know, the double advanced forwards and shadow strikers are going to leave your front line very exposed, and well, isolated. There's a lot of great suggestions in there. Right, we're going. I don't care about Jose Fontan. Yeah, you can't have a testimonial. No. So Ethan, you say if you were to understand all the rules and instructions, it would help, but I don't know how to learn. Again, like they said, like that is exactly what the Deep Line Playmaker channel will do. I mean, listen, like turn on the video, put it on. Either you have headphones or you've got speakers, and watch. And when he says those words, take them on board. Maybe try some of the things out and see what works for you and what you like when you see, because trial and error is part of every single approach to learning in every single manner ever. Right, Braun Rod comes back in. Anita Hammer, we're freezing out. Isaac, we need to get someone to bite on. New Hammer there, which means poor old Barbieri hasn't done anything wrong. In fact, as we've got those players signed, let's pop you here, and then we've got an ad break coming up. So I'm going to see you guys in about 3 minutes whilst I go pee and poison my lungs. I'll see you shortly. Okay, and we're back. So, Aram, I do see that you asked about training. So, it depends on what I'm doing, really. I don't focus. None of what I focus on when I'm playing is around playing the game maximally. So, I will focus more on concepts and ideas. So, something like when I'm streaming, because it's very difficult to keep up with chat, as you can see. Like you sent that question like 5 minutes ago, and I'm only just getting to it. You know, I'm a little bit slow, and because there's a lot of things to concentrate on, I delegate a lot of stuff for stream saves. And when I do things like the Moneyball Clinic, they're all delegated as well, because the focus is on the transfer side of things rather than anything else. But there are other saves where I do focus on training, and I will generally be looking at it from a conceptual point of view. So I'll be looking to apply tactical periodization ideas of focusing it in response to previous games and then preparing for the upcoming games. So it's about picking sessions that make sense narratively rather than trying to optimize player development. Or we might be trying something where we focus entirely on making sure that players are developing their preferred role rather than worrying about general development and stuff like that. So yeah, my approach to training probably isn't very helpful to anyone whatsoever. Right, we're popping into this friendly, do the whole standard thing there. It'll be the same deal as before. Klinsmann and Sheringham worked wonders. A cracking player of players, let's be fair. Also a great description of making sure that you're looking at players as a partnership as well. I mean, players like Sheringham, someone who was able to drop deep, hold up play, could be a threat from like in the air as well. And then you've got someone like Klinsmann, who is a direct runner in behind. You've got that staggered element of your tactical approach, which can be really, really effective. So DM Basis talking about big fish in a small pond. Yeah, I mean, so I do also appreciate, Ethan, thank you by the way for the follow, that it can be very overwhelming. You're getting lots of different advice at the moment. So all I can strongly recommend is taking one piece, looking at the supporting information that's out there. There's, as we've mentioned, there are great creators out there that can help you. I mean, I even have work specifically, if you're interested in focusing on possession based or counter-attacking, there are specific videos on my YouTube channel for that very thing as well, which I think could be quite useful, and that again goes behind the theory of it. Or head on over to the forums, places like Sports Interactive Forums, community.sigames.com, or places like Reddit can be very, very useful, and search for what the thing that you're looking for. So if you have an idea of what you want your team to play, focus on that. Focus entirely on that, you know, and take the time. When things go wrong, let it go wrong, see what you can see is happening, learn from it and refine it. And if you get sacked, you get sacked, and you can try again, and you can try again. And as you build up that knowledge, you'll start to build up an arsenal of like things that you know work and things that you know don't work, and you start to really get on top of it. It can be very difficult to do that though, because when you're losing, when you're going through that learning process, you have to deal with failure. But that's how you learn, right? That is how you get the experience and you get that knowledge. Because if you just follow something blindly, you're not really understanding why something works or doesn't, and then you can't really identify those threads that can help you turn it around. So Johnson's most recent save, the Hanover one, took you around 15 to 20 years to win the quadruple. During that time, got relegated, saved in the playoffs multiple times, broke the record for least goals scored in a season. It's not always going to be just easy and winning. Exactly. Right, now I do know that I will have missed a lot of chat, so I do apologise very much there. So Marsh, you asked what happens when we feed the Crudmo. Have you seen Gremlins? It's that. It's that basically. It's a very, very scary sight. So, I mean, Hung Min wants to feed Vietnamese pineapples. That's the only feeding that I will accept. They're from Vietnam. I think we established this this stream as well. Is they aren't a different type of pineapple, but it's just pineapples grown in a climate that is very, very good for it. Welcome in, by the way, Magasfal. Thank you very much for the follow. Who do you support, by the way? Who are you playing with in FM? Would love to hear from you, my dude. So John, sir, it's always been trial and error and delegating lots of stuff and then undelegating them one by one and trying to learn them. Exactly. I think one of the wonderful things, I see a lot of people who complain, or not complain, but say that FM needs to introduce like a formal type of mode for a specific play style when you can kind of get it by delegating. FM is brilliant in that it allows you to basically take control and focus on what you want to, which I think is great. Absolutely great. By the way, welcome in, Rich. Lovely to see you. I did spot your name in there in the bingo a little bit earlier. So United was just start save for years in the Sir Alex Ferguson era, and it makes sense, doesn't it? Because they're such a good team. Players that you know, so you've already got an idea of things that they can do in real life, which kind of helps contextualize attributes as well, because you can go, right, I know that Ryan Giggs is really good at dribbling. That makes sense as to why he's got really high dribbling. Oh, Crodmo tells good jokes. That's a bold claim. A very, very bold claim. Yes, I did. The merch does say to freedom. Okay, that's my bad. Fair enough. Kawatiba, when you started playing FM, you'd save scum after every defeat to try fixing what went wrong. Yeah, like there is no shame in save scumming. It's a single player game. Play it how you like. I mean, I have no problem in saying that for many years I save scum. Granted, I also picked the game up when I was like 7 or 8 years old. So the idea of losing gracefully wasn't something that came naturally at that age. There's a nice little finish from Pocho. Is that Lucas Roman? Lucas Roman is called Pocho. Oh, I like this lad even more now. 29 years old with a funky little nickname. Go on, Pocho. Beautiful stuff. I think Ethan is long gone. Maybe so. Rodmo was already old when he started playing FM. He did. He was. Technically 14. Crodmo was a late starter. Don't lie, computers were not even there yet when you were 15. They were. They were definitely around when he was that age, but they were massive. They were like as big as a bookcase. And Crodmo would have to like keep on like unplugging these cables and plugging them in other places to get it to work. 2-0 up, absolutely fine against a Serie B team. Sure. Not seeing much of Osasuna, which is a little bit worrying in these first couple of games. He's the man that I've identified to be our absolute star. And he's not shown up in these friendlies so far. Right, Nurama's back from injury, so he comes in. But Nato, Skamaka. Standard, go out there, show me what you got. And then sim through for the last bit there. Like Welsh Smithy, safe scummed for years, only broke out of it 3 to 4 years ago. Exactly. Everyone does that, and it's part of the process as well. You know, it's partly, it helps you learn a little bit. It also, I think that one thing that FM is very good at is it also teaches you not to save scum eventually, because it's very, very frustrating playing the same game over and over again and losing. So Mr. Grizzly P doesn't deal with contracts unless necessary. Perfectly reasonable. Oh, DM Base is asking for some Rambutan. Beautiful. Sinister's back over on YouTube. Marvelous to hear that you are still Sinister. That makes me feel better. That makes me feel better to see you back as Sinister. So you're only 7 or 8 years old at heart. That's FMG&G's mental age. Yours and mine both. Yours and mine both for sure. When do we come into... Milan will play in the 3rd round of the Coppa Italia. Something to look forward to, I'm sure. So Johnson's never save scummed, but used to do the DMB gimmick and constantly start new saves. I mean, that's just save scumming with extra steps, right? Right, bids are coming in for Barbieri now. They're all for starters, so I'm quite fine with that. Although, you think, I mean, I don't need to worry about... I do need to worry about the fact that he's in the last year of his contract. He impressed me in the Club World Cup, so let's get that sorted out. We're keen, 30, let's say less than that. Yeah, so around the 35 mark, if we're lucky. because I know he's going to ask for that stuff. So, okay, it's probably going to be around the 42, 45 mark, I guess. They didn't like that first offer. And they withdrawn. That's not a good sign. Well, we'll revisit that around October, November time. Hairlen's now out on loan. Booster was already down in the reserves. Of course, Booster is a player we signed on a free transfer this summer. The plan was always to loan him out, so that's all right. Vietnamese Rambutans are good too. Beautiful. This is a Hung Dem In is turning into the chat's feeder. So Will Smith is currently getting parts to build your new PC. Safe to say you're broke for a while. Oh God, I can imagine. I can imagine how many bits did you need to buy? Are you building the entire PC from scratch, or is it a case of just upgrading some certain components that you've got? Crommo just uses the in-game editor to make all your players CA200 and all the opponents CA1, and you still lose games. That's the problem. Still lose games. Now, Sinister will never stop save scumming. Fair enough. Welcome in, Willem. How you doing? How long have we got left on the stream? So, we have got probably around half an hour left with AC Milan, and then we will switch over to the committee sometime shortly after 9 p.m. So, on YouTube, we will stop shortly after 9 p.m, but we'll still be we'll be carrying on over on Twitch and making decisions in the Jeff United save. So, Will Smith, you're doing the entire PC. It's 8 years old. It's put itself down. That's fair enough. It's put itself out of its misery. Right, Fuzari's loaned out as well. Let's see. What are those bids that we need to deal with? Oh, they're the Barbieri ones, aren't they? Oh, I thought that was... Add to development list. He must be a regular starter. We believe that surely they will deal with that from there on in. Let's see if we can try once more to get Anita Hammer sold. So we'll say we'll give 30 grand. We will drop the fees down to, let's say, 5 mil up front, 30 over 3 years. And then we're going to see if we can push Isaac out. Let's offer him out on... Still, we've not got anyone coming in. We'll say 2.5 million a year. I have a feeling we might need to offer wages for him as well. But we signed him on a free. So again, we can quite happily move him on as long as what we have to pay him in wages isn't more than what we would receive in transfer fee. So Mr. Grizzly P used to edit new-gen Argentine attacking midfielders with 200 potential ability and boost their reputation just to see could be the next Diego Maradona pop-up. That sounds like a fine use for the in-game editor. Now, I must confess, I've never purchased the in-game editor. I have no idea how it works. But I used to, like back especially in like the Champ Manager days, I used to love making databases with all the players that I liked with like super crazy PA, or just upgrading them to like -9s and -10s. So Villa would always have a great history. You'd have players, a great future coming up. On a DM basis, sometimes wish you was one of those people who only played in the top tier of the big leagues, but you like playing everywhere on FM. So the minute something seems a bit interesting, it's like, ooh, new save time. It's the shiny approach, isn't it? When you see something new and different, you're like, oh, that could be fun to do. That could definitely be fun to do. Well, I'm going to see what it's like having Raskin as a deep-lying playmaker in that game. We're going to have Washer not feature in this game, is the plan. Ardagula's already fine. Monterisi's fine. All these players we're trying to move on, so we'll keep it as it is. And then we've got the game against Esther or Pryor. So Johnson says, if the player makes that orange coloured offer, I recommend locking your offer in as that, or as that take it or leave it kind of offer. Much more likely that they'll accept. Fair enough. Thank you. I will keep that in mind. Right, go out there. Willem, sweet. So you'll be on Twitch for the committee. Just dog watching right now. There you go. Hashimoto season. He is very much in that list. I have a feeling he might well be a Jeff United player in not too long for sure. Marsh says this must be the year of all the Welshmen upgrade PCs. Maybe there's been secretly like a coordinated effort to advertise in Wales, and it's just seeped in subconsciously, and that's clearly what's happening there. So 8 Welshmen, including you, are looking or have upgraded this PC this year. But is that all the Welshmen? That could be the thing. So you're struggling with his processor cooling. Like, what is good enough for your new processor? I must confess, I mean, so I got mine built for me. I was like, I don't want to have to get lost in the weeds about all the various things. I know enough about the specs to know what I needed and wanted. And I was just like, right, here we go. Graphics card, CPU, RAM. You guys, you sort out what's appropriate thereafter in terms of fans and cooling and power units and all that malarkey. So Dean Base always used the pre-game editor to add Rangers and Celtic to the conference on the old champs and see how long it took them to reach the Prem. That does sound quite fun. Didn't Rangers do that to themselves in 2012? Too soon, Crodmo. Oh, pardon me. So Johnson bought the in-game editor once when he was younger, didn't realise you could change your squad numbers before the season, and was really annoyed some players had the wrong numbers. We scored a penalty in a game that doesn't matter. It's quite a nice penalty as well. DM Bassist remembers when he used to like Crodmo. I've tried warning you guys. I've tried warning you guys on so many occasions. That's the problem. So Marsh knows Naffle. The only thing I told was I should have gone for 4070 instead of a 5070. Oh, Marsh spending big here. Woo! Actually, I don't know. I think I might be wrong. I feel like graphic card prices have dropped a little bit since, because it went absolutely crazy a few years back. So Dan Base is 95% sure he has HH. One day you'll go through the process. Well, isn't that the problem, right? Is that to have the patience and wherewithal to go through the process kind of suggests that you might not have ADHD. DM Basis went on PC Specialist, went to their pre-built next day delivery options because she was impatient, had a PC the following day. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think it is PC Specialist is I wasn't quite the pre-built route. I just emailed them and said, right, I want this, what do you recommend? And when they replied, I just said yes. when it came, I'd set myself a budget. I think it was probably around 1,000, and when I saw that the quote, the suggestions in the quote stayed underneath the budget, I was just like, yeah, whatever, we will do that. That is perfect. So I got completely lost trying to work out where I was in chat for a moment there. So Welsh Smithy's done very similar as well. This is clearly a targeted marketing campaign going on in Wales right now. Cardiff, Swansea or Newport? Swansea. There we go. So Dan Basis, because as a Rangers fan, you should have been devastated by the financial impropriety. And obviously you was upset, but then the other part of me was like, this is like a fun FM scenario. How was it? Like, I never played a Rangers save when they were down in the lower divisions, because it felt like it would be, there just wouldn't be enough resistance to the path back up. How was it? Would I be reasonable in my suggestion, or was it quite fun being Rangers and being able to blow away the smaller teams as you then try and, because then the challenge is to be able to get yourself big enough again to compete at the top end of the Premiership. So so Marsh is the other side of Wales, Newport way. There's Newport North then. Wait a second. No, Cardiff's the one that's south, isn't it? Cardiff's really, really south. Lovely volley by Arda there. My geography, I was going to say my Welsh geography is bad. All my geography is bad. I know nothing about anywhere ever. Oh, that's a shame. I know it's only a friendly, but that was a really, really nice volley. It should stand just for being cool. And Marsh never recommends coming down here. It's like the Luton of Wales. Well, that sounds quite appealing to me, Marsh. I'm not too far away from Luton, so like the Luton of Wales just feels like home, right? So Crodmo realised he spent the last several days trying to set something tactical up for the next draft we do, even though none of it will ever work out the way I want it to. Isn't that... It's so heartbreaking, isn't it? When you spend... I swear, the longer you spend planning on things in FM, the more likely it is to fail. Or at least the quicker it will end up failing. So DM Basis bought and built the PC before this one, but found it relatively stressful, the actual building of it. So decided I wouldn't do it next time. This one was a pre-built with a discount, so it's worth it. Can't go wrong there. That's the thing, is yeah, I've built PCs in the past, and like, it's I think stressful's a fair thing to say. I think the biggest issue is that if anything goes wrong, it's then my fault. There's something about the peace of mind of knowing that if someone else does it and that's what they do as a job, then there's a good chance they won't fuck it up. Whereas I can't say the same about me doing it. Right, standard malarkey here. I'm starting to panic about Osazuwu. We might need to change his role. Because that's another friendly. He did have a chance in this game. I do remember seeing him have a shot, which is encouraging, but it feels like he's not quite doing what we want. So managing Rangers in FM is shite. So you only really do it for the beta period. I don't know that I ever bothered managing them after the relegation. Fair. So Newport, Cardiff and Swansea are all in South Wales. Fair enough. Cardiff is more... Yeah, I know Cardiff is like really south. Crodmo is from Luton, exactly. Shots are fired. It is his favourite place. Last time I met up with Crodmo, he spent all evening talking about how Luton is the most beautiful place he's ever been. Factual, that. 100% fact. Right, Cole Palmer is leaving. After one season, he goes to Al Hilal. We only make €4.5 million on him, but that's absolutely fine. Gianni Ricci is the man to step into his place, so we've already got that kind of beautifully sorted out in terms of a progression path. Let's see if we get anyone biting on those offers out on those other players. So Welsh Smithy knows the parts you want, you just don't/can't build it. Fair enough. Except for the processor cooling. That's out of your scope. And that's the thing. Like, that's what they're there for. That people are there to, like, they're professionals. Just ask. And they will recommend the most expensive thing possible. And then you just have to talk them down. Right. Isaac. I'm just going to tell you it's your best chance, even if you aren't keen. So no offers for Isaac. Seeing if we'll get anything for Anita Hammer at any point now. Please. This is starting to feel a little bit like the Nico Gonzalez, Eduardo Bove situation. Actually, no, that's unfair. Bove and Nico wanted to leave. They'd asked to leave. That's why it was frustrating. We are trying to force Anita Hammer out the door because of a change in our tactical approach. 2 injuries to strikers, but they're only for a couple of days. No worries there. So, Chromo, you're just fishing to find out where you're really from. I like Holofab getting my name incorrectly. I mean, it's fair. That's fair. Your motto is let the professionals do it. Exactly. Which reminds me of an old detective show I used to watch called The Professionals. There's a memory. That's a long time ago. Shots fired, Mustard. It's just true. It's true. I mean, it's not really a shot fired when I'm just giving an accurate and honest retelling of our last rendezvous. Mr. Grizzly P keeps on hearing Anita Baker. Interesting. I can't hear any Anita Baker. Is it just one of the background songs it sounds quite a bit like? Can I even think of an Anita Baker song right now? Because you say Anita Baker, and the first thing that came to my head was actually by Minnie Riperton, who's an entirely different person. And thank God I picked that up before I started singing "Loving You" in an exceptionally high falsetto that would upset almost everyone. So Matt says there isn't much of a saving when building your own. You did one last November and it was perhaps £100 cheaper, but I don't have any warranty. Exactly. Now I also understand that there's an element of control that comes with building your own as well. So you know, just the small elements of setting it up internally how you like, so that when you need to make changes down the line, that has value in of itself. But yeah, let someone else do it. Let someone else worry about all that malarkey. Right, youngsters being loaned out. Coolio. So DM Bassist reckons Watford. I don't want to confirm or deny because that's at risk of doxing the good man. But I was in Watford for 5 years, and they were the 5 happiest years of my. Watford's fine. Watford is perfectly okay, which is as great a comment anyone can ever make about Watford. Right, let's start going towards having the lineups that I think are going to be close to our starting lineup for this season. And now Skamaka, it would be Osazua potentially. Let's go that way there. And drop down and drop that. Push that up. And Virtus and Teller, again, not necessarily a particularly difficult game. Marsh needs a baker. I mean, who doesn't need a baker? Oh, for Anita Hammer. Right, okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. I get you. I'm slow. You know I'm slow by now, so that's all good. So Cromo's dad was born in Watford-ish. Read that as Waterford. I mean, that would be much better. That would be much better than being born in Watford. Although, David James was born at Watford Hospital. Gareth Southgate was born in Watford Hospital, I think. So being born in Watford's a pretty like set way to become an England great, right? Right, Archie, we'll play the mini game after this friendly, and then we will. That should bring us perfectly up to time to switch over to the committee as well. Matt, your cable management is appalling, so I don't want to make a change. Cable management is almost 100% the thing that scares me the most. Like, it's inside a box. I don't want to have to, like, just fit. It's all good. So Conway used to work in Watford. That's fair. There's some nice spots around Waterford. Fair enough. David James is from Welwyn Garden City. I'm pretty certain David James was born in Watford Hospital. I'm pretty certain on that one. Or at least I think that's what it said in one of the Panini Stuka books, which is probably where my knowledge comes from. So DM Basis has toyed with going to Cork a few times. I mean, I'm glad you said going to, because toying with Cork can be like, that can snap off and that gets really embarrassing. You have to go to the hospital. You have to explain what you were doing. It's just awkward. Marsh, what's the committee? Oh my. Let me tell you about the committee. We have started a new community save on Monday evening. The way it works is everyone in chat makes decisions. So we vote on, or you guys vote on what we're going to do. We started on Monday evening and we voted to take over a club in Asia. The club chosen was Jeff United. We're going to be playing a counter-attacking 4-4-2. And so tonight we're going to make decisions on which of the players we're going to keep, which of the players we're going to move on or release, and we're going to make a decision over a number of tactics. So I've created the tactics that we're going to present. You guys then choose from that. I take that information away after the committee, and I will then play the game, and then we'll come forwards on Monday and we will update you and we'll start making more decisions. So the way it works, for tonight anyway, you get loads of votes. Everyone who joins will be given 26 votes, and that will allow you to vote twice on each option. But you don't have to vote twice on each option. You could save your votes and not vote on like 3 or 4, and then vote 8 times for one thing you're really, really keen on in the very next vote that's up. So it's all about using, it's about the community deciding, but it's also about playing a little bit of mind games and stuff. Williams, you'll see it's not been enabled yet. It's not been enabled yet. Codmo's been to Cork. Night and E says, got to run, no worries. Thank you for the games and have fun, everyone. Thank you so much for dropping by, Night and E. Have a lovely weekend, my dude. Ethan is back. You've watched a few of Deep Line Playmix videos, but how do I now apply this? Are you trolling us now, Ethan? You listen to the things that he says, and you do them. Yes, Marsh, there's going to be a lot of My Name's Jeff. And a large part of the reason that we've taken over at Jeff United, Marsh, is because my name's Jeff. I spell the name correctly, but my name is Jeff, which means I have hated that film for the entirety of its existence. So DM Basis is absolutely using 20 votes on one vote. It's your way or the highway. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to you putting 26 votes all on the very first one, and then asking why you don't have any more votes left. So Grizzly P, this time you're going to let it all come out. This time I'm going to stand up and shout. See what you did there? Right, so this is this game, I think, did we arrange this one? I must have arranged it. It's against an Italian team, so I think Virtus are Serie C again. I didn't bother with any particularly difficult games this time round because we had the Club World Cup, so this is literally fitness only. Rich says a top tip. You'd gone when you wrote this. Pick a top team. It's easier to learn with good players. After that, just play. Win or lose. We learn by doing. Exactly. Right, Skamaka's scored a goal. That's something that Osasuna wasn't able to do. I mean, Osasuna wasn't an expensive signing, what, 20 odd million or so, which for this stage in the save isn't necessarily a particularly big money. Obviously, we sold Elena Kane for like 75 million. But I do worry that Osasuna might not be the man we hoped he'd be. He's had a good couple of seasons out in AZ in the last 2 years, but maybe the step up. Well, I say step up. He's struggled against Serie C and Serie B teams, and that's not even a step up in terms of the opposition, which is a little worrying. So Marsh says, what if someone else puts 26 and another puts a vote in? It's always a possibility. The risk is there. I mean, it would be kind of funny too. Right, last set of subs. Boom. Okay, Roman, Richie, Rafalskis, and Isaac. Isaac getting a little bit of a... In fact, actually, we're going to swap these guys round. We're going to not play Isaac. We're trying to move him out. Let's see Lucas Roman as the false 9. And give Barbieri some game time. And go out there, go out there, go out there. Start. Boom. And there we go. Marvellous stuff. Spot the super helpful teacher remarks. Exactly. Isn't Rich such a gentleman? Such a gentleman. No more goals in the second half. There we go. That's fine. Right, okay. So let's head on over and play another round of bingo then, shall we? So let's... Right, we did icons last. So let's do another round of regular bingo. Get rid of all these bloody... I need to sort out a new ad blocker. All right, there we go. So once again, for those guys that haven't played before, I will explain how it works. You've got a lovely link over appearing in your chat windows now. Head on in, that will join you into the lobby. Once we start the game, every single player gets a unique bingo card with 16 squares. That will contain like players or clubs or countries or competitions. We then all receive a list of 60 players, one after the other. We get 10 seconds to work out if they meet one of the criteria on our bingo cards. If they do, we click on that square. If they don't, we click skip or let the time run out. Once you click on a square, that is locked in. You can't undo, you can't put another player there. So make sure that you are confident in your decision. And the goal is obviously to try and get bingo. Only last time out, draw got bingo. So we've got some good form on show this evening. I'm going to give it about 90 seconds to give people a chance to head on in, and then we will start the game. So we've got some happiness for bingo. Fuck yeah, bingo time, says DM Bassist. Cronmo keeps on claiming that he needs to stop sucking at bingo. He's come like second or third or somewhere around that in like a number of games in a row, which I don't think counts as sucking. Don't think it counts as sucking even remotely. But you know, there we go. So Marsh said Giggs was English earlier. We all have those moments. And you know, like, I can also understand that if you're Welsh, you kind of might want to disown him, given his previous impropriety. So I get it. Second is first loser. Second is second. I'm not having that. In situations where only one person can win, then not being that one person is not a bad thing, and it's very, very, very. I'm very much a participation trophy thing there. If there are 20 of us and we finished 20th, well done for carrying on through and seeing it through, even though I was rubbish. That's how I view it. Right, okay, I'm about to click start now. So if you've got this over in a browser, pop on over to that tab, and the countdown is now started. And he was English, but don't palm him off on the English. You see, this is the thing, is everyone wants to palm Giggs off now. Yeah, you've disowned him, did nothing for us. Played for the England schoolboys, exactly that. He was born in Cardiff, and he also did bad things with his brother's wife, which is more of my issue with him. That's why I'd expect most people to try and ignore his contributions. Buffon, we're going with an Italy connection for Pirlo there. Dennis Irwin, we're going to pair him up with Manchester United. I didn't choose icons. No, I didn't, because Konate's in there. That's fine. Klaas-Jan Huntelaar, he must have played for Ajax at some point. I probably didn't need to be so rash as to press that one. Faye Given is going to get a little skip here. But Diego Godin is Uruguayan. So we're going for South America there. We've got Mark Overmars. Mark Overmars is the kind of person that when you think about making a game like this, you question whether it's really worth keeping him in, given his behaviour. But hey, there we go. To each their own. Raul Morelos, good little player. I'm not sure if we matched any of those though, so we're going to let that go. We've got Takumi Minamino. We'll play that for Asia. Got Konstantinos Mavropanos. That's going to be a skip there. We've got Yerry Mina. Big old Yerry Mina. Don't feel good on that one though, so we're going to give him a skip. We've got Mikhail Mudryk. Do we have an option for doping? We don't. Alvaro Morata. We're gonna... I'm thinking might have won the Europa League. I also think I might have panicked and just pressed it on a whim rather than thinking about whether that was a smart decision to make. Right, Shkodran Mustafi's going to give a skip there. Benny McCarthy. So the big 5 leagues. What's the big... Italy, Spain, France, Germany. Italy, Spain, France, Germany. Oh, England. I forgot England out of that list. Fair enough. That's not a good sign, is it? Kang In Lee. Let that one go as well. I used to really like watching Steve Malbronk. What a player. What a player. Right, Scotty McTominay has a title in Italy, but unfortunately not elsewhere. And Maguire gets skipped. Freddie Ljungberg. I don't know if he has a title in other leagues. I think he may have done, but I'm not certain on it. Johnny McGinn back in again. Super John McGinn. Right, Alexis McAllister we can play for Argentina. Javi Martinez. We're going to give that a skip. Nuno Mendes. France. Portugal. That's a skip. Nacho Monreal for Spain and Arsenal. Salihamidzic must have won a title in Germany, but I don't know if he did anywhere else. Achraf Hakimi has just won the Champions League, right? Nassim Mazraoui, we're going to give a skip there. Adrian Mutu. Did he end up out in Turkey? This is my problem, is I keep on seeing players, I'm like, oh, they could have played in Turkey, and we'll go with it without actually thinking about whether that's reasonable. Ruben Loftus-Cheek hasn't won in Italy. Might have been managed by Ancelotti at Chelsea, but not feeling confident on that one. So even Helguera still at Real Madrid when Ancelotti was there the first time. I don't feel confident on that one, so I'll let that go. Mario Rui. Daley Blind. Might have won with United, or was he too late? But Netherlands isn't one of the big five, so that doesn't count. Otamendi. He's surely won title in 2 leagues. Well, I'm not sure. Robbie Fowler for a Golden Boot. João Moutinho. Ronnie Johnson. Oscar Cardozo. What a player. What a player. Right. Mark Hughes, we're giving that a skip. Dimitar Berbatov. Won a title with Monaco. France is one of the big fives. Won it with Man United. Maybe. Nasser Chadley. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Cesc Fabregas. Has he ever been managed by Ancelotti? I can't think of one there. Has he ever been managed by Ancelotti? Oh, possibly AC Milan times? Then I need a Sevilla player. And that Sevilla player, quite famously, is Christoph Metzelder, right? So DM Basis says that was shite. Willem says that was poo. Marsh got 3 wrong. But look at that. We've got double bingo. We've got double bingo. That's FMGNG and Mr. Grizzly P. Sensational work there, gents. Sensational. So Cromwell's going to stop. He came 3rd with a very, very respectable 14 out of 16. And then we've got a 2-play tie for 4th. We've got Marsh. We've got Charles. Fabulous stuff. Fabulous stuff. Whereas I have picked up, I'm 11th. So I am joint with DMB. I think these people have access to hacks. There, I said it. I'm going with it. I'm going with it. 100%. It's not that we're bad. It's that everyone who is better than us is cheating. Absolutely, every single one of them. No, I think fabulous work from GNG, from Mr. Grizzly P. Mr. Grizzly P having a sensational week. And that's going to be a port of call for us to pop on a little break so that I can change things over for the committee. So I will see you guys in a few moments as I do some admin behind the scenes. See you shortly. Yeah, I'm back already because I should have actually ended the stream over on YouTube first. I do apologize. So if you are over on YouTube, I do recommend popping on over to Twitch if you'd like to take part in the committee. It should be good fun. Unfortunately, I need the chat to all be in a single place, and on Twitch the chat has a little bit more functionality. So we will be closing it off on YouTube, carrying on over on Twitch whilst all the stuff is changing over in the background there. So come along, that'd be absolutely fabulous. You should now have the link in the chat. If not, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thank you very much for dropping by, and I will see you guys next week.